live super show brought to you by Dead Sun Entertainment. We are back for another episode. Well, the first episode, I guess, that is aptly named Mr. Video Games Talks. We kind of did a trial run talking about the Blizzard Activision controversy, but this is the first one that we're actually just going to call it by this name. So, yeah, today we are spending an entire hour talking about the Twitch controversy currently going on with all of the racist and shitty ass hate bots that have been spamming the hell out of Twitter. Of course, I'm Slacker Kite, and with me we got Merowin and Wonder Boy. Yay!
Hooray!
Hello.
I'm here. I apologize for my messy hair.
I apologize that I'm literally in a robe, but I just could not bother to be made fuck. So here I am, you sexy people. I've got water in one hand, I've got shake in another. Let's fucking go.
The two things you need when discussing how Twitch has let down underrepresented populations on this platform, right there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Hey, up.
Yeah, and I guess that's really like one of the bigger problems, right? Is it seems whenever Twitch does try to represent, LBGT creators and whatnot, it tends to fucking screw the pooch. For example, that whole PogChamp thing they had going on for a while. And that was goddamn delightful. Because who the hell wants to be associated with PogChamp?
Yeah, I just Twitch do better, please. Please.
Like, we see it with YouTube as well, and frankly, any like live streaming thing. It tends to be white people who already have a fair amount of money to begin with. Not like rich people or anything, but it tends to be people that aren't going to be kicked out of their house to begin with, end up being the people who become, the voices of these platforms. I mean, we've got a little bit more diversity when you're looking into TikTok, but it's still pretty white, straight people.
I mean, let's be real. You want to bring up TikTok, this is the case for a lot of social media. Honestly, it's just like, but TikTok specifically, we're still at the point where like Black creators refuse to create and post new dances for the latest Megan Thee Stallion single over the summer because white creators steal dances and monetize them more and get more recognition for that. So that was their act of protest, was just not to make any dance videos. And the result of that, watching white people trying to come up with dances to the song on TikTok, was fucking fantastic to watch, just because of how sad it was. And it really shows just how much, white populations, and this is not anything new that I'm saying, but how much white populations crib what is like seen as quote unquote hip or cool in the moment,
Yeah,
from populations outside of their own cultures. It's just another instance of that kind of appropriation that we've seen clamped down on by underrepresented populations. And it should be noted also, like you mentioned LGBTQ creators in the beginning there, but this also definitely extends to creators of color as well, and creators of marginalized genders as well. So it's definitely across the board. If you're not like straight cis white male, like, yeah, I think what we're going to talk about today kind of applies there all around to all of those communities.
Yeah, like being a female person, I've been terrified to start streaming on my own again. Like, I was supposed to be back in June, And here it is, the middle of September, and I still haven't hit the go live button. Like, I'm fucking terrified
Mhm.
because it's not just the big streamers, it's any streamer is
Yeah,
getting nailed with this.
and the problem is, right, if you are a smaller streamer, you're, relatively new at streamer, or you're from a more marginalized community in the first place, right? A bot spamming you with hate shit is probably going to affect you more. Like, let's say Ninja is out there streaming, and all of a sudden a bot hits, and he's getting thousands of responses from these things. It's not really going to affect him very much because he's been doing this so long. You know, he's got a bit of first off, I'm not really worried about this. This is, you know, not anybody trying to reflect directly at me, but like he doesn't have to put up with the constant shatter of ego as much as he thinks he does, but like that you don't belong in this community sort of shit, and then have something come in and be like this force that is trying to be that. I don't know if I made my point across well enough, but
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Um, it's it's like, one, he doesn't pay attention to his chat anyway, so it's not like
mm,
he's ever going to notice. Two, he's got a huge ass mod team that are like on it.
right,
And three, again, like you said, this isn't really anything that's directed at him.
right.
So, and with Twitch not giving creators any kind of tools to mitigate this, it's impossible. And like you'll get um follows from
Mm,
these bots. Um and they'll show up in your viewers list. They don't
yeah,
count as views. You'll get swarmed by 1,000 of them, and they don't count for anything.
yeah.
So if Twitch is able to do that on the back end and go, well, no, these aren't going to actually count as views, where on the back end are the tools to actually be able to deal with it? Because if you get follow botted, you have to manually go through and remove each and every single one of them.
Now I thought Twitch had set up something to mass ban uh, people that come in at the same time.
No, there is a third party bot out there called Commander Root that if you
Oh,
learn how to use it, you can pretty much clear out bot follows.
mm,
But you got to know how to use it.
okay.
But is not built by Twitch. It's not provided by Twitch. So it puts people in a very precarious situation because there's also the chance that, and here's where Twitch works against creators. So you've worked way up to affiliate.
Mm,
Great. You get follow botted through no fault of your own. You didn't buy follows or anything like that. You get follow botted. Congrats. Here's your first suspension because it's suspicious activity. And it looks like you've bought follows, which is against terms of service. So good luck applying for partner
I'm
ever.
amazed they're still like doing that right now because it's happening to so many people getting these huge swarm of bot follows.
That's just it. Like the bot follows have been a massive issue for many, many years.
Mm,
And it has screwed over smaller creators who are trying to grow.
mm,
Um, I am a member of a Twitch group on Facebook, and there was actually a case where somebody posted, "Hey, look, I had this guy reach out to me here on Facebook saying I can help you grow your channel. And when I shut him down very politely, saying no,
Right.
I was follow botted the next time I went live, and I got my first suspension as a result.
Cool, cool, and great.
Yeah, like it's dumb. It's really dumb.
Mm.
Yeah, I admit I don't follow very closely like what are the tools for this because I mean I'm going to be honest, like if Mr. Video Games gets flooded with people, I'm just going to start ignoring the chat until they fuck off.
Or I'm gonna have a very busy day wielding the almighty banhammer.
Yeah, those are the two options, and honestly, I think most of the people who tune in to Mr. Video Games, hi Kelvin, thanks for joining in. Uh, if the chat isn't there, like it's not going to be a huge deal to them. So I haven't bothered with it because I don't think it would affect our community terribly badly. Uh, but if we were especially a community that didn't have a Discord, the people that chat or the usual people in that Discord, that sort of thing, um, I imagine would be a different story because a lot of people function off of engagement, especially the people in the just talking category. A lot of the people who do art and do like music based upon inspiration from what people are saying in the chat, or that sort of thing. There's a lot of community driven channels out here that it would just fuck over.
I mean, the problem with, like, yes, we as taking us as an example, yeah, yes, we have our dedicated followers that are in the chat every week for the most part. Kelv,
Mm.
Coop, um, Graves, and God, I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anybody.
Well, you got like
Josh,
Josh Pie,
Josh,
No
yeah,
Me.
Pi, yeah. We have our dedicated people that come, pretty much almost every week
Mm.
to the show, and I am, first off, thank you so much for continuing to come back and listen to us with whatever we are rambling about um, on the given week. But the entire reason why Twitch exists is that continual strive to boost engagement.
Mm.
Like, that is the main reason why it is there. It's the main thing that they monetize on their platform. Like, that is, it's the end all be all for a lot of people. I mean, so much so that they still tie it into like reaching these different tiers.
Mm.
You know, like, you have to have a certain amount of followers. You have to have a certain amount of of viewers over a span of time to be able to get to these plateaus that they set forth. And so, yes, I think a common argument for these things is to try and like move where engagement is, through like starting a Discord or something like that, or even like trying to like. And I've seen a lot of people throw out the idea of like turning your chat into like a subscriber only chat to kind
Mm.
of limit that sort of thing. Which, yes, that would do that, but it would also, like, especially for smaller channels, would be a severe disservice to their growth and their advancement through the like gates that Twitch itself sets up, you know? So it's just one big mess whenever you're trying to like whenever the thing that Twitch values the most, in terms of just on a creator by creator basis or even a channel by channel basis, um is exactly what is being weaponized
Right.
here, you know?
Yeah, because people want to, you want engagement, you want growth. If we were here looking to make, money off of this podcast rather than as a hobby, I think like if we had a huge following, I don't think I'd know even what to do with it, to be honest with you. Um, but if this is what you're looking to do for your job, your entire job is to move up engagement. And let's like look at this panel here, for instance. insights, the channel analytics is your top thing. Who's following, who's doing what in your community. And then there's a community tab directly below that. Before any of your content settings, etc., your top information on your stream manager is getting people active in your channel. I mean, Twitch certainly is here for the people who are just listening or watching on the second monitor, but what they really want is that engagement, because that engagement raises revenue. I don't know who the fuck you are. Why are you calling me at 8:30 at night? Fuck off. The one night I don't have my phone on silent. Anyway, yeah, it is a much bigger issue than I think a lot of people are willing to say, who especially the folks out there playing the devil's advocate on the whole thing of well, what's the real problem? You're still able to stream. Yeah, but it limits the ability for people to engage with you, and that's what live streaming is for. Like, I don't like engaging with other people on that level, so I mean, except for friends, of course, people like that. But I don't want to engage with people I don't know on that level, so I'm not a big Twitch follower. I go to YouTube, but that's what they want on Twitch, because that means not only are you getting, the content they're feeding, you're getting the advertisement, and they want you to engage with those advertisements explicitly. They want you to form a community so you feel a bond with the streamer, so that you are giving them your subscription money each month. And yeah, it's a it's a little bit, you know, predatory in a sort of way. It really is, but that is the business model that this platform is based off.
I mean, profiting off of parasocial relationships. Who would have thought that that might be a tinge predatory?
More so than any other platform. Like, yeah, you get it on YouTube, you get it on TikTok, but Twitch, you are literally attempting to monetize the fact that people like you. That is the whole way you make money.
Yep. And like you said, there are people who rely on Twitch for their income.
Mhm.
Like, it is their primary source of income. And if they're getting chased off the platform due to Twitch's inaction, I mean, like, I was just scrolling through the hashtag Twitch Do Better on Twitter.
Mhm.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, you've got people who are creating third-party apps and programs to help fill the gaps that Twitch is failing in,
Mhm.
which is really sad. Like, this should be stuff that they themselves should be addressing. It shouldn't fall on your creators, who you're taking half of their revenue anyway, to do your job for you.
Yeah, and
No, but I mean, they have so much time to. They only have so much time to do different things. So, like, if you're going to take time away from crafting the Pride Month post that they put out every year, or you're going to take time away from doing the Black History Month or the Juneteenth post that they put out every year, like, then how are you going to be? We don't have enough time to do that and also monitor our service and create tools to help combat these sort of things. I'm saying this sarcastically, by the way. I don't know if it's coming across that way. It's
Oh,
just
it
one of
is.
it's just the double speak from the company. Like, they are very apt to attach themselves to the communities that are being most affected by this, and then leave them out to dry. I'm glad that the tags are back, but the tags aren't to do any, like, the tags are a completely separate thing from all of this. Like, it's fine that you want to express that the company supports these communities, but words only go so far.
Mhm.
And right now, without the proper security in place, those tags are being weaponized.
Exactly.
It makes them so easy to narrow down and go, oh, look, LGBT streamers. Let's take them down.
Yeah, that is definitely true. The other thing is though, okay, so I don't know what hashtags, I don't know what blackouts really do to the bottom line on Twitch, because ultimately, the people who make their living off of Twitch, which are going to be the big people generating the most revenue off of Twitch, aren't going to leave more than likely, unless, clearly you get bought out by YouTube or Facebook to stream only there. Sure, okay, but this is the major platform right now. And regardless, people have to make money. Like, there isn't a great way to make as much money as you can make on Twitch live streaming to YouTube and Facebook yet, unless you already had a large following.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, that is definitely true in terms of like the financial stuff there, because like yes, I'm not sure how many of the like super large scale channels on Twitch participated in the protest on September 1st. But I would hazard a guess as to say that a minimal amount
Hmm.
of them did.
But you do have some major streamers that are actually making a stand by jumping ship entirely.
Also true.
So, for example, in the past, I think it was 2 weeks, we've had both Dr. Lupo and Tim the Tapman
Hmm.
both jump ship from Twitch to move to or to move to YouTube.
Yeah.
So, if other major streamers are bouncing, then,
Didn't Tim and Lupo get a paycheck though to leave Twitch?
Yeah,
yeah.
I know Lupo did for sure, and that's the thing. Is like a lot of these, a lot of. It's one thing like the movement that kind of movement does hit Twitch's bottom line, but it
Hmm.
doesn't speak to the issue at hand really. It definitely like makes them pay attention to certain things, but not these kind of things.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very valid point. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to like undercut anything that y'all are saying when it comes to this sort of thing. But we've been talking about major streamers like leaving platforms to go to other platforms for years now because of like guaranteed contracts, guaranteed income sort of things from different platforms. Um, hell, probably the most notable one was whenever Ninja went to Mixer before Mixer went the way of the dodo.
That
So
was where the smile was coming from. I knew that was coming up any second.
exactly. So like it's one thing for that to bring that up in this conversation, but it also feels like it's like behind so many different brick walls from the actual like issue at hand for me personally at least. It's one of those things where I'm glad that there are some people that are, like I'm not gonna fault anybody for making their living, like as long as you're not like actively damaging someone else in a way, or that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, like these people are leaving because other platforms are offering them more monetary value. It's not because they see Twitch as a platform that is not paying attention to the needs or wants of its creators. It's just because YouTube offered them more money. And let's also be real, like this is not simply a Twitch thing. Like this sort of stuff also happens across a lot of different platforms too.
Hmm.
Not specifically the hate rate stuff because of the different structures that are there between like YouTube live streaming or Facebook live streaming, that sort of thing. But concentrated attacks against marginalized peoples exists on all of these platforms. All you need to do is look at a YouTube comment section to see these sort of things pop up. You know,
Yeah, like when Lady Goggles put up the one video that she did for her senior thesis in college um, on hate in digital spaces. It was literally 12 hours before, the channers started circulating around the link and started flooding the comments of that. And, that was enough that she was uncomfortable leaving it out there because it had her name on it, so we took it down. So yeah, this is not just a Twitch thing. Mass hate campaigns take place fucking everywhere. Because shitty people seem to be ridiculously online, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the perfect place to carve out a space for these kind of communities to fester
Yeah.
and grow and feel empowered. Like we said on the show yesterday, like these communities that perpetuate these sort of things, like I would argue they probably feel more empowered now than ever
Mm-hmm.
based on, cultural climates, political climates, and the relative anonymity and I guess you could call it safety of the internet providing these sort of rooms or spaces to be with like-minded individuals and to gas each other up to do these sort of things.
Yeah, I mean, like 20 years ago, if you're like, God, I fucking hate Eskimos, you didn't have just like a place to go and find other people. Like, you couldn't just go to their grocery store and scream that and have 5 or 10 people come up, me too! Fuck them! Now, there's just a message board already waiting for you, and they are happy to point you to other related media, other people of the same mind in different locations. You've got a fucking subreddit out there somewhere, just full of real hate shit. And that's amazing. What the fuck?
Also, real quick, Inuit is the preferred term, I believe.
It is the preferred term.
Yes.
I was trying to think of something with a twinge of racism in it, but it
I just don't.
wasn't.
I just didn't want you to think out here on our channel just like blaring out
Yeah,
a term though.
God, wouldn't that be great if that is what gets I shouldn't say that shit out loud. Please don't do what I was just thinking about. Anyway.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, yeah, no. Inuit is the preferred nomenclature, and that was being yelled out as a gross exaggeration of horrible human. Um Actually thinking about it, there are a lot of Canadians with that sort of attitude. Not to shit on your, the Canadian country, but
All
maybe
good.
that's easier to find in some places.
There are shitty people everywhere.
Mm.
I'm just throwing some Twitter links from the Twitch Do Better run into the podcast Discord.
Yeah,
Um,
I cannot look that up.
oh, some of them are horrific. There's one from a streamer named Jupiter Velvet.
Mm.
She's trans, and she got hate rated during her stream on Friday, and they leaked her dead name as well as her address. The photo of her house was the profile photos. Like, this is all going too far.
Yeah, like, excuse the hell out of me. Like, I knew that, they were being shitty, but I actually didn't know that they were actually, like, literally doxing people with these raids as well.
Oh yeah, it's a
Yeah.
it's a constant thing.
And
There's even
some of
been.
Oh,
Sorry, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, please.
I was gonna say there's even been some instances of like people who are perpetuating these sort of things kind of like usurping the profiles of Twitch users to try and pass the blame onto them. People that they have targeted, that they are usurping this and trying to put it onto them as being the ones that are perpetuating this sort of thing.
Yep.
Like it's very, very complex.
The Hossbot in particular is like there is actually a Hoss streamer out there.
Yeah,
Um,
I have seen him
and
out there, and he is very displeased by this whole situation.
yeah. And some of these bots go even further. If you click on the profile, it skims your IP and you get DDoS. Like, this is wrong.
Yeah, I I don't know. And on the other hand, so during the Twitch blackout day, several streamers did go online who just, didn't know what was going on. One of them I do pay some amount of attention to is Susie Spearhunter. Um, a very openly trans person, mostly YouTuber, but does some Twitch streams, and just got really shit on for also not doing the blackout day. And I understand that there's a lot of good intention there of, hey, it's blackout day, you shouldn't, we would really appreciate if you didn't stream. I know you didn't know this beforehand. There's just got to be a better way of, really spreading this, but also not shitting on the people that, this sort of thing is supposed to help at the same time.
I mean, yes, the reaction shouldn't necessarily be extremely volatile to people who did not know that that was going on and then hopped on, and then when they found out, they realized what was going on and decided to participate in the blackout and stop streaming. I'm not sure exactly how that situation played out. Like, did she stop streaming when she found out, or
A
was it like
little
one of
bit
those things?
after she found out.
Okay, well, see, and like that's the thing. Like, if you didn't know beforehand, then you found out what was going on, and and then you did end up participating in the blackout for the day. Like, that's totally fine. But the thing is, like, I think the main reason why people, and once again, I'm saying this as someone who didn't see the reaction to that. Excuse me, Lord. Um, Whenever this is something that I can relate back to, like watching the protests here in Portland over the past year plus. Whenever you have a community that has been trying to speak so much to the powers that be about issues like this, issues that threaten them directly,
Hmm.
and have continually done it for years at this point. At some point, you just get fed up, and the only way that you know how to respond is through like more demonstrative actions, I would say.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know the quote offhand, the Martin Luther King quote offhand, or any of the other like civil rights leaders quotes offhand that speak to, like, rioting is basically the response whenever like all the responses have fallen on deaf ears. That's definitely not the quote, but that's
Yeah.
kind of the feeling that comes from these sort of things. So, like, I won't begrudge anyone that might have a bit more of an aggressive reaction to that whenever it comes to like those sort of things. I will say that I would rather that not happen, but I completely understand where that anger is coming from. You know,
Yeah,
like,
I would wonder where we should fall in, like, streamers who say go live on specific days that we don't, wouldn't want to see people streaming, especially people who represent marginalized community? Where do we, how far do we go with, like, hey, you really shouldn't be doing this right now. Can you do it tomorrow?
I mean, and there's ways to communicate that, and that's really the end goal. But I'm not going to begrudge anybody who like has the pent up frustration from all this stuff and sees that, as long as they're not like actively attacking somebody. But if there's like some anger in their voice from it, then like I won't begrudge anybody for that. And it also depends on like who we're talking about in terms of like who is the one that's streaming that we're calling out for not participating in an action like this. Like if it's Dr. Disrespect, I have no
Yeah,
qualms about you running up and calling that dude a fucker for not supporting, people like this. Because one, I don't ever expect Dr. Disrespect to do that. Um, you know, we've clearly seen where his priorities lie. But I don't know, it's just one of those things where yes, communications should be more fluid and constructive, but if there is some anger there, like I'm not gonna fault anybody for feeling some anger as long as it's not, weaponized against a person in that way. And also, like we're talking about this, like uh, this also like kind of still pales in comparison to the actual issue.
oh yeah, hugely,
And I'm
hugely.
not saying that that's not what you were that I'm not trying to like make any like connections or insinuations there either. It's just like if on one hand, like if you have like the scales of justice, let's
Yeah,
just say, like people being angry about someone who didn't realize that there was a blackout going on and then like saying something a bit too aggressive to them about it versus um all of the fucking bullshit that is going on. Like my hand went out of frame. Well,
mhm.
all this bullshit that's going on, like one definitely outweighs the other.
Yeah. I guess what I was more trying to get at is, I would like to see the people that are not affected having more of, um, a voice in this. Like, I don't think, yeah, marginalized groups should, of course, yeah, stand up, fight for their own rights, but until you see the actual people who Twitch are actually watching, right? The people with the larger platforms. Unless they do something large as a group themselves, I think a lot more could really be done on that end of, hey, Dr. Lupo, can you, you know, hold, yourself accountable for today, because this is a problem for other people. You may not see it, but this is, this platform should mean something. And obviously, Amazon shareholders are only going to care about what the, return on revenue is. So I don't know if a blackout is really helping anybody unless we get that sort of change. Uh,
Uh, I mean, a blackout is good to raise awareness,
mm,
especially like you were saying earlier, if you got some of the bigger players in on it, where Twitch knows, hey, yeah, they're supposed to stream this day, and why aren't they online? Um, but like blackouts are good for raising awareness because it does cause a lot of smaller content creators to start talking to their communities. And if you tell somebody one person one thing, they're going to tell two more. And those two more are going to tell two more each, you know? Um, but it's not enough. I don't know if there is a way to accurately and effectively draw Twitch's attention to these issues.
Hmm.
And I wish there was a way, but like short of showing up at their head office en masse, I don't know what else to do.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, I don't even know if showing up at their home office would do anything because, like, wasn't there an instance of like someone who is on their safety committee being like run off of the platform because of this bullshit? Am I wrong in remembering that?
I think you're
No,
right.
yeah, I definitely think you're right on that. I mean, well, okay. So what if people who are would being affiliated or partnered on Twitch count as employment?
I'm pretty sure you're counted as, it's a contract sort of work.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely independent contractor.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do labor laws not apply to contractors?
No.
Let me tell you, as an independent contractor myself, there is a vast difference in the rights of employees and independent contractors. There's a reason why it was so newsworthy that the Activision Blizzard lawsuit was expanded to include contract workers
Hmm.
because it very rarely happened. Like, let's put it this way. Here's the example. So like I write for Outsports. Outsports is a blog owned by SB Nation, which is owned by Vox Media. So
Hmm.
I am an independent contractor with Vox Media. Vox Media has a union. None of what the union does affects me. I don't get anything under the CBA that the union works out with the Vox executives. Like, I am on my own island because I am a contractor, not an employee. So like I don't none of that applies to me. And that's true across the board for contractors.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's why I sought to get out of contracts very early because they are very strongly used in especially the tech world to get underpaid help and not provide literally any benefits or assistance to them, and they can be let go at a moment's notice.
Okay. Because like
Yeah.
the closest thing I've experienced personally with being a contractor is like I worked for a major telecoms company through a third party call center.
Hmm.
So I did not get the pay that the folk who worked for corporate got, nor did I get any of their benefits, but I was still protected under the Ontario labor law because I was an employee of third party contract or third party call center. So like
No,
that's the closest I've ever come.
like, and especially sucks under contract. Say your contract terminates. In a lot of states, it's the law that you have to go back to your contractor and ask them, hey, do you have another job, regardless of how well your contractor treats you?
Ooh.
Yeah. I couldn't get unemployment because I fucking hated my contractor and I really wanted to, look for a different contractor to work under. But because I didn't come back to them immediately, and yeah, I couldn't draw unemployment in the state of Georgia. Contract work is really fucking dumb, and I really hate that it didn't exist. Period. Um, yeah, and it's a great way for especially, hey, here on Twitch, you're a real you can do whatever you want to do to your, you know, streamers because they're not your employees. They are independent contractors. They are, your media producers. They are not in any way affiliated with Twitch itself, even if they are an affiliate.
Hmm. All right, so that kills that idea. I was gonna say, because like, if creators are classed as employees, or if independent contractors are classed like were afforded the same kind of protections, then why not bring up a labor rights lawsuit?
Can't. You can't
You
even
know, because
unionize.
I was gonna say, because like the Ontario Labor Code actually has stipulations for harassment in the workplace, whether it be from fellow coworkers, leaders, or customers. And you can bounce, or you can file suit against your employer for not providing the protections as set out in the labor code.
Yeah, they see it as you chose to work here, so hey, you can leave any time, buddy. If you don't like it, we have no control what people do because it is a public space.
Yeah.
But I mean, the only thing I think can be done is to make people in a larger sense understand, right, that like suing Twitch suing the people who are doing this is going to be such a long, drawn out, and fruitless project because we're just starting with two individuals. And there's a lot more than two people going on and doing this whole thing now.
Yeah. I mean, they did say that one of them was suspected of being behind upwards of 30,000 of these bots.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's going to be a huge amount of these people, and as well, a lot of people who are doing these bot raids may be doing it on a smaller scale for people that they just specifically hate for some fucking reason. There's no way to really know the numbers because that's
because the internet,
yeah, you
basically.
I mean, a lot of these bots are being driven by forming a hive through corrupted PCs. Um,
Mhm.
so, it also goes into it would be real difficult to hardware ban them in the first place because it's just coming from dummy accounts, a lot of them coming from the cloud, even. It's not coming from, some dude server like it used to back in the day. It's coming from your mom's computer. It's coming from an Azure site that somebody set up for $10.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
So,
it's a bummer.
I don't know what
yeah.
Twitch does about this. Like, they should do more, but at the same time, like, it's easy for me to say as well, right? Because what the fuck do you do?
Okay. So, here's the thought. Um, a- as a mod for this channel, I've got a lot of tools at my disposal.
Mm,
I can ban, I can time out, I can block, you know, but I can also set up filters. So I can set up filters that will automatically block inappropriate terms
mm,
that we've chosen. So if we say purple cowboy is now an offensive term on this channel, I can add that to a ban list. Anybody who says it gets timed out. You know?
mm.
Give us the ability to do that. And when it comes to usernames.
Hmm.
So, for example, this Haas thing, we had two hit our channel.
Yep.
Yep.
We had H0SS00312 and HOSS00312.
Mm.
Give me the ability to ban a username containing 00312 preemptively. you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Give me the ability to be able to do mass bans. So if we did get hit by a hate raid and got swarmed with 1,000 bots, I don't have to sit there and manually type in everybody fucking name, you know? Because creators have a lot more things that they would rather be doing with their time, i.e., creating,
Hmm.
rather than cleaning up Twitch's mess.
At the very least, I'd like to know, like, Twitch is very quiet on why it doesn't implement a lot of these tools. It is certainly not as if they can't, but they are very fucking mum on, well, we have heard this idea, this is our problem with the idea, we need more time to, work out the kinks for it for X reason. Just being transparent on what you are actually fucking doing would be huge, but they're not.
I saw somebody had posted on Twitter about, of course, the whole Twitch do better. And it came down to where they found a page on Twitch saying, you can help protect your channel. Here are some great tools. And tools was a hyperlink. And when you click on it, you get a 404.
Oh, good.
Like stuff like that has a problem. Like Twitch support on September 13th is put out a tweet saying, we revamped our refund process to better prevent misuse. This will help you protect or help us protect your revenue while allowing legitimate refunds to be handled quickly. Okay, that's cool, but you have more pressing issues right now. It's like they are doing everything they can to work on everything they can that isn't this.
Yeah, you
So,
can give me, rainbow emotes all day, every day. Fine, great. They're nice. But, like, what are you actually doing? You are not being transparent in what the fuck you are actually doing.
yeah. And I mean, like, I'm pretty sure a day off Twitch made news, like news. And Twitch's response on that was, "Oh, by the way, we've started proceedings for a lawsuit, but we still don't know who these guys are, but we've started proceedings."
If they even are, like, a specific person or a specific group of people.
Yeah. I mean, hell, for all we know, it could be a rogue AI. That's going to be Amazon's official stance on this. Nope. Turns out there weren't actually people. It looks like Alexa just got uppity.
God, how far would the rabbit hole go?
Skynet has become self-aware. We're fucked.
It is weird timing. Matrix is coming back, so
Yeah,
maybe,
see.
maybe. Mhm.
But yeah, like Twitch just needs they are relatively simple things that we're asking for and they're just not. Cuz I mean, the ability to preemptively block certain phrases and words already exists.
Mm.
Legitimately, how much would it take to tweak that so it encompasses usernames?
Right.
That'd be like what, 2, 3 lines of code?
Yeah.
Like it's not a big deal. It would take somebody literally 10 minutes. But instead, we're revamping refunds.
And to kind of like sort of piggyback off of that, something we talked about earlier is like there are already people that are building out tools that can be implemented into the Twitch infrastructure that address these things in a better way than Twitch's own mod tools do. So like, and I don't know if anybody at Twitch is like looking at those as examples of what they can do to do this, but like there are people that are putting these things out there, and there are plenty of things that Twitch can be looking to as examples for like what might work in terms of like tweaks for these sort of things. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest, with the way Twitch is handling things and with the way they behave about third party content, I wouldn't be surprised to see the folk behind the Commander Root bot slash app that helps you be able to go, hey, everybody that followed me on this date between this time and this time have been banned and they have been removed. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Twitch turn around and go, yeah, here's a cease and desist for fucking with our system.
Mm.
Yeah.
So,
No, you're not wrong.
I mean, it is the unfortunate thing of course, being a news show to talk about what's going on is you know none of us have any ability to actually change any of this, so it is in some ways talking to a void about it, but letting people know, even our few listeners, what a fucking shit show it is currently, and how it really is. It's more than just getting your feelings heard. It is completely disrupting some people's ability to function on a platform.
Not even just a platform, like function in their lives. This is
Yeah.
devastating people like mentally. Like this is like this is like so detrimental to so many people's mental health. You know, it's driving
and
people away from the platform. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and in some cases, it's also threatening their health physically. People are
Yes.
getting doxxed, people are getting swatted.
Yes.
Yeah,
Shit needs to
it's
stop.
they're finding out who has the thinnest skin and going hard, and that's the worst part of it is,
I mean, it's not even necessarily a question about like thin versus thick skin. It's more so just
well,
like
yeah.
I know that's like the common phrase. I'm not trying to like be derogatory about you like saying that and all that stuff. It's just like it's a vast difference between like feeling like categorizing it as thin or thick skin and then looking at like people directly attacking your very fucking existence.
No, you're definitely right. Like somebody saying, "Oh, looks like you went to Kennesaw State University." Ooh, not a big deal. But if I had like a dead name that I didn't want people to know, that's a big fucking problem.
Yeah,
That, yeah, does affect you far beyond just fucking Twitch. That's your entire life that's getting fucked with.
exactly.
Yep.
And I think the last thing I'll say, because we're running up on time here, is that
Mm.
like, yeah, like us talking about this isn't gonna change Twitch, but just like the blackout day, you know, the more conversation that is out there about this, the more awareness it is brought to the issue. You know, and like yes, we don't have the largest audience in the world, or we have a very dedicated audience, thank you very
Mm.
much, but
Yeah.
we don't have the largest one. But the more that these conversations happen, the more people do become aware of these things, and the more people have something to act on. You
Mm.
know, so like yeah, we're not changing Twitch. There's no illusions of that in my brain right now. But you know, the worst thing we can do is be silent.
Yeah, fuck your bots, fuck Kiwi Farms, fuck all the people that have nothing better to do than to get laughs off the internet drama. Cause man, your lives have to be real fucking boring. And I know someone could say, "Oh, your life must be real fucking boring to sit here and talk about it," but like, it's a concern for my community. Like, I mean, in a way, I do feel like I'm a member of a larger, community of. I have a lot of friends that stream on Twitch routinely. A lot of friends that are very online, and while I myself am a cis white boy over here, a lot of them are not, and therefore are in a place that they could be put into danger, and that fucking bothers me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, not every episode of MVG Talks is going to be quite as serious as this. Future episodes may include things like talking about retro handheld, or things along those lines. The Nintendo online platform. We've got so many things we can talk about, but anybody who watches the show knows that things that affect people that are marginalized, or in any lower strata, as far as money, or anything along those lines, deserve to be treated better. So it means a lot to us. And thank you for listening to us ramble for an hour about that. We'll try to make it more fun next time.
Hard conversations have to be had sometimes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
And hopefully I didn't say anything horrible that will get tagged and come back to me later. All right.
Bye.
Bye.